Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to Crown Wars: The Black Prince. This is a dark fantasy turn-based tactical game that we actually took a look at on the channel a while back during the last Steam Next Fest when there was a free demo available. We're coming back today because the game is officially launching into its full release state. And obviously the developer Artifact Studio and the publisher Naken are quite excited about that, and they've sponsored me to jump back in so I can show off some of the more polished and final states of the game. Obviously I'm very grateful for that. You guys can find a link in the description down below if you would like to learn more about the game. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into an existing save file, and I'll show you a game that's already in progress. Now, if you missed my previous video for the game, I'll give you a quick recap of the story. This is set during the 100 Years' War between England and France and the Civil War that follows. It's already an extremely dangerous time for the people of France, but unbeknownst to them, there are forces moving in the shadows, including an evil cult that has dark intentions for the realm, and a secret society that is looking to counter and curtail their influence wherever possible, using some rather eccentric mercenary figures. We are a lord in France who has been exiled from my previous realm after the death of one of my family members, and we are now rebuilding our influence thanks to some help from some other influential figures from that order, and hiring up mercenaries in order to fight against the cult wherever possible. What you're seeing here is my castle in a very early game state for the game. I've gotten a few of the early game missions out of the way so we can unlock a few features, but there is a very long way to go. Now, I could show you a lot of how you'll use this castle in order to upgrade your knights and your mercenaries, but we'll come back to that. The first thing you'll want to see is some actual gameplay to appreciate what's going to happen. So let's go ahead and jump to a map of France so I can see what missions are available. We've got the Royal Agreement. This is an early game mission which will require companions at level 2, so you want to get at least a little bit of experience under your belt, and we want to ensure that the negotiations between the French and Navarrese representatives are going to go well. Looks like we might need to bring along some handcuffs as well. Okay, that's good to know. Well, let's go ahead and select a few party members. I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a quick alchemist who is basically an arbalist as well. Plus, let's see, maybe somebody who could be kind of a crusader figure for me, sure, and maybe a hunter figure, and also a beastmaster, who has a pet bear, because of course he does. Now let's make sure we equip our characters properly. I'm going to go ahead and make sure we get some shackles so I can capture any agitators, plus a little bit of healing balm, just in case that ends up being useful. Maybe also some poison arrows and stuff, you never know. So let's see, we've got a crossbow, we've got a mace and some shields, some with a bow, and then an axe and stuff. Yeah, this all seems reasonable. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and send this party to the mission. Now, they actually do have to travel to the location, so we can go ahead and start passing some time. Now, while they're traveling, the other things you could, of course, be doing is going back to your castle, and you can start researching various different upgrades at, let's say, the forge, shown right over here. We can get some upgrades for some weapons, or we could go to a laboratory setting and try unlocking various different consumables, like, I don't know, let's say an antidote, in case I want to make sure that I never get poisoned again. This will take 8 days to research. Anyway, there's not much else I want to do right now, so let's just go ahead and pass enough time for us to arrive at the Royal Agreement and start the battle.
I'm Blanche de Navarre. Free us, please.
Seems like things are not going well. The French have not found the Navarrese envoys, and we just saw them in a cage, and I see the little red squares representing that somebody is over here that has a field of vision that will need to sneak around. So, okay, they're hostage. Let's free them and get the peace negotiations back on track. Aha, there's one of our enemies right there. Okay, so what I want to do is get some of my guys up to a higher vantage point, at least the ranged characters, while the rest draw as much fire as possible. So the way that this is going to work is you can click on a character and you can see these little blue markers over here. This represents how far they can move for free in a single turn. Then they are allowed to take 2 actions. That could be 2 attacks, it could be an attack and a defense, it could be an attack and an item, or it could be actually moving beyond their normal limit by sprinting. That means that they have less attacks by moving a lot further. So if I wanted to run up over here, for example, that would take all of my actions, but we would be in range to attack this guy. Not worried about that right now. I want to go ahead and get in position, let's say, over here. This should be fine. Okay, I have a little bit more vision. I know what's going on. If I get up over here, we actually could take a shot at somebody. May not be smart, though. They'll just come up the ladder and smack me. So instead, we're going to go ahead and set Overwatch. If this guy decides to walk through here, I want to take a shot at him for free. I'm going to do the same sort of thing with my archer over here. And get the rest of my folks in position. If he decides he wants to come around the corner, we'll take him down. Then we'll end our turn. Just try not to kick off things preemptively. No reason to rush it. Oh, hello. They've got some sort of a light crossbow up there. I'd rather not get shot by that. And he's backing off. Okay, so this gives me a little bit more time to get into position. I think this will be a good opportunity for an ambush. So I'll set a quick overwatch over here. When they move, they get shot. In a lot of ways, a lot of the mechanics for this game are very familiar from other kinds of tactical games. Obviously, though, it is properly themed for much more medieval equipment and methods. So, let's see what these guys are going to do. Okay, there's another guy coming around over here. He's got a ranged weapon, good to know. And he has spotted me. Okay, so they're going to reposition, and the fight is going to begin. We already took a shot off on this guy and this guy. All right, so we get a little bit of extra damage in. That's great. So, we want to stay behind cover as much as possible. Obviously, that gives me a good defensive bonus, but for right now, we can take off at least a couple of shots on this guy here. Hopefully, we can take him down. If we get a lucky crit, we will. We did get lucky with that. Okay, phenomenal. And then we can go ahead and reposition somewhere else so I don't get shot at. We're going to do something similar here with my arbalist. Now, the advantage of this character is with a crossbow, we can ignore armor. These little symbols underneath this guy's health bar right here represents armor, which means he takes less damage. By ignoring that, we can do full damage, which is obviously going to be great for us. Question becomes, do I want to start shooting at their ranged character, or I would rather just go ahead and start burning this guy down? I actually think he's a bit more dangerous, so we're going to go ahead and do a bit of extra damage here, and then probably back off so he can't shoot me. Something like this should be fine. Now, alchemists are great because they usually have a lot of abilities, like throwing a fire flask or a healing flask, or maybe even using questionable science, other special abilities you will unlock, but we'll talk more about character progression in a bit. For now, let's take my duelist character up over here and see if we can take out this knight. I think we should be able to. I'm going to smack him first with the mace so we can knock out one of his armor points. Then we're going to swap weapons because he can do things like that. And we'll go ahead and stab him with, well, I was going to try to stab him with a dagger, but that did not work. Tell you what, when all fails, send the bear. The bear will take care of him. Ferocious Scratch. Come on, take him down. No, don't overwatch. I hit the wrong button, apparently. Well, fine. Tell you what, we'll just go ahead and run with this guy up over here and start applying some pressure onto one of those ranged characters. Let's smash his face and try to make him blind so he's much less likely to hit anybody. There we go, that's a little bit better. End our turn. Now, the ranged character is really insistent on trying to hit me over here, so okay, a barbed shot with bleeding. That's no fun. Yeah, that bleeding is actually going to apply a lot of damage onto me. Not a fan of that arrangement at all. Well, two can play at that game. Let's apply a little bit of poison on this guy so he takes more damage at the start of his turn. And then Brother Bear can walk forward and start smacking him. Well, that didn't work. I'm just trying to get him down low enough that the poison will finish him off. I think we're 1 damage off. Which is unfortunate, but okay. What we can do then is probably take 1 shot with the arbalist and then maybe apply like some healing or something like that. We may not need to do that. I don't know how long the bleeding lasts. Fine, let's just go ahead and take this guy down. Looks like my axe will do the job, and boom. Okay, so everyone's been cleared in this area. And we have met Blanche de Navarre. Okay, so there's the envoy. I'm guessing this just became an escort mission. Now, funnily enough, this kind of story content here, this was not in the demo. The demo was very much focused around the cult activities. Something I did not see before is there are actually several different families you can choose from in this game, right? Your origin story of sorts. And apparently it does have an impact on what kind of missions will become available. So as far as I know, there might be 4 entirely different storylines available in this game. And enemy reinforcements are going to be on the way. Okay, you've taken way too much damage, but the bleeding is finally gone. Holy crud. Let's go ahead and throw a healing flask on myself, please. Thank you, that helps a little bit. And then I see that we've got some superior trebuchets up this direction. Plus we got some of these crossbows, proper weaponry. Yeah, I want these. We're gonna defend the fort. So we'll go ahead and man as many of these as possible, and then I'll send the bear to guard the gate. Good bear, very intimidating. Okay, here they come. Looks like this is the character I want to capture. Emmen Poch. Okay. Well, that means we're going to have to take him down and then probably use our arbalist who has the item in order to capture him. So we'll deal with his companions first and then catch him. I suppose we could start by launching a quick rock at him. Sure, this should do a lot of damage. Wathoomph! Alright, boom! Ouch! And he's prone. Okay, he's not going anywhere for a little bit. We could quite possibly actually take him down right now. I assume this will be enough to actually stop him from continuing anything, so as long as we don't... I don't know if this is actually going to kill him. I assume we can't kill him. All right, he's down. There we go. Oh, nope, that was a mistake. Well, right, I screwed up. Yeah, you know, fair enough. That makes a lot of sense. Look, it's fine, all right? We had to test that for science. Am I right? I think so. I'm actually going to do nothing and let these guys come forward instead, all right? Oh, there we go. These are targets I'd rather trebuchet. Take him down. Yeah, how are we going to actually get this guy down low enough? I'm not sure what the threshold is in order to be able to apply the cuffs. I do know that this is a lot of enemies. Oh, boy. But the more they cluster together, the better for me, right? So like a poison projectile right over here to hit 3 of them? Seems like a great idea. We can even hit our main target. Yes, we'll start slowly whittling him down. This is going to put me on the clock, but, you know, it's probably fine. There we go, beautimus. And then I think I'd really like to maybe kill off this archer guy right here because I don't want to take any range damage. Oh, wow, that was very effective. Then throw a giant rock at the 2 knights who decided to cluster together because that is foolish. Boom, and now they're prone. And we'll hop down here and we will guard the gate. No one's getting through, dang it. So let's see how effective... Oh, wait, there's more reinforcements on the way. Oh, crud, we're going to have to reposition ourselves. All right, I got to capture this guy quick. That's what this means. Yeah, run forward. See how well that works for you. Oh, he didn't actually run all the way forward. All right, kind of smart. So let's go ahead and reposition a little bit down here. We're going to try to take down at least 1 or 2 of these targets so you can focus fire as much as possible. Obviously, removing enemies from the board is generally the most effective strategy. Though as the game progresses and your characters get more complex, sometimes it does make a lot of sense to actually do a lot of support spells or abilities and stuff as well, but we'll worry about that another time. Let's go ahead and toss some questionable science. Yes, we weakened our bear. That's fine. I'm weakening everyone else at the same time. And we'll try to puncture through this guy's armor. I need to keep the Arbalest nearby in order to capture this guy whenever we are able to do that. Blinding him will certainly help, and then we take out one of his compatriots. Perfect. And then I honestly feel like I need to go ahead and rush somebody up over here to this other trebuchet because while I want to catch this guy, if they're able to swarm me over here, we're going to get overrun. So I need to have someone nearby the trebuchet. We can deal with an attack from this guy. It's going to be fine. Let's end our turn. Yep, like I expected, here they come. Glad I'm going to have a trebuchet ready. We can poison a whole bunch of them all at once. Now the real question, what does it take in order to activate those clamps? Let's actually see the item. Maybe we can see here. Used for capturing a capturable unit. Yes. Okay, so if I beat him down a little bit more, will he just surrender? Is that the plan? I'm going to assume it is and dangerously run right up to the guy. We'll stab him once. There we go. And then see if I can use the item. Okay, I don't know if that was necessary or if we could have done it at full health, but there we go. We've captured him. He's just disappeared, so I assume we put him into a Pokeball, and that's good enough. Now, we need to eliminate another group of kidnappers. Okay, so we can't use the crossbow here right now. That's fine. Let's go ahead and use... Do I want the poison projectile or just do a lot of damage? I think in the long run, the poison's probably going to be the better go, right? Let's just do that. There we go. That'll do a lot of damage every turn. My question is, are we going to have another round of reinforcements on the other side of the fort? I really hope not. That'd be very inconvenient. Wow, we don't even get to use the crossbow. These guys sprinted like crazy to get out of range. Smart play. Kind of sucks for me, but smart. Actually, wait, we can get onto the side of the crossbow and just shoot straight down. Feels like that shouldn't work, but we'll give that one a go. Hang on, aim, and shoot through the wall! Boom! Bleeding and rooted. This character is very dead. Well done. And another one goes down right there. Good. We can go ahead and move forward here. I want to poison this character again. Can you stack up poison? I actually am not sure if you can. Alright. Tell you what, let's just go for easy pickings, exploiting this guy's weakness and doing a bit of extra damage. And then maybe swap back to having a shield and enter a defensive stance, because I think we're going to get hit here pretty hard. Next, we send the bear to go ahead and seal this guy's fate, and then overwatch if anyone tries to get through. Good. All right, let's see what they do. So that character should be... Oh, I am shocked they did not go down. Well, crud, I was off by 1, which means they actually have a chance at living. No! It's fine, I'm not actually worried. I'm more just shocked and slightly appalled. Take advantage of this really big crossbow over here. See if we can take this guy down. And we can. Goodbye. And then a couple another quick strikes should be enough to finish this guy off. You know what? Death by bear. You might as well. I think you've earned it at this point. Boom. All right. That should be it. And now the two forces are able to meet. See, our order is trying to promote peace in France. But who's sending the mercenaries and kidnappers to try and disrupt that peace and install anarchy? Great question. Anyway, now that we are victorious, we have a chance to look at our prisoner. I'm going to capture him. Now, we could free him to get some money. You can ransom people. But I'm going to go ahead and capture this person. I think we might as well. This gets me some extra experience for anyone who is of the same class as this character. Interesting. My characters, in the meantime, do get some experience, and some do reach level 3. In fact, all of them do. Nice. And the story advances as we learn about King Jean being held prisoner by the English, and his son, the Dauphin, and what he's trying to do. You know, all this stuff leading up to, like, you know, Joan of Arc, that kind of stuff. And we get all of our rewards for finishing up the mission as well. I think at this point we are officially considered to be out of the quote-unquote tutorial zone. Everything from here on out gets a bit more randomized and fun. So let's take a look at the barracks, because I want to show you a bit about character progression before we move on to the next mission, because this ends up being kind of important. So we can take a look at some of these companions, and you can see that they have gained a new skill point by advancing to the next level, and there are a couple of different trees that you can follow. You know, in this case, for the alchemist, we could go for apothecary, or we could go for a pyrochemist. And depending on which of these abilities strike your fancy, you might want to choose those. So do we want to get really good at healing and poisoning enemies, or do we want to be really good at using fire and acid? I think we'll just go ahead and stick with the apothecary route, that's fine. And then our Beastmaster could be a trainer or a hunter. Our beast does get stronger as well as time goes on. And some of these can be pretty impactful and change your gameplay up a little bit. So for example, my Flayer, also in this case my Bowman, is going to be able to use the Scout ability. If no one's nearby, I get a 15% extra bonus to crit chance, which means more damage, but also a chance to blind enemies. As opposed to using a support spell like Caltrops, which would allow us to kind of slow down the enemy or force them to redirect their movement. Let's also take another look at that forge, because I kind of touched on this, but I want to talk about this a little bit more, because it is important. So all these different weapons, as you upgrade them, they're going to cost you a bunch of materials, but it will be unlocked for the rest of the game. And you'll be able to equip lots of different kinds of weapons on different characters. They're not limited to very specific types of weapons, so you can really change up your arsenal depending on what you think you're going to need. This is going to boost up some of your stats, it's going to boost up some of your damage. All of that obviously becomes very, very helpful. Eventually, we can also upgrade to get refined axes and so on. We can get superior weapons, we can get flawless weapons. All of that is nice. Now, one other thing to note, I said there were 4 different families you can choose from when you first start up the game, which was, again, was not part of the demo. Depending on which family you choose, you actually start with a reinforced weapon of some sort, which can be pretty helpful. Anyway, so you can upgrade forges and stuff over time, right? You can spend some materials, get an upgrade, better reinforced weapons and armor schematics become available. I'm not really worried about that right now, but I might want to start the process of, let's say, upgrading an axe. This is a weapon I tend to use. And again, it will take 8 days, plus a bunch of resources, in order to get the upgrade. Over at the laboratory, since we've had issues with getting bleed, I think we're going to go ahead and unlock bandages. That'll take another 8 days to research. And that should be about all we need to worry about with my companions right now. Honestly, in a lot of ways, I'd say the character progression reminds me a little bit of the kind of build-up you do for something like, let's say, Darkest Dungeon, right? You're kind of upgrading some skills as well as upgrading some weapons and so on. There does seem to be some similarity in a game like this. Anyway, let's jump back into our prison. I just want to see the guy who's over here. So yeah, being a mentor, huh? Boosting up the experience gain of a specific type of companion. Which type of companion is that symbol? That's the duelist. Okay, so any of my duelists now are going to level up faster. Nice. Your characters do also get more experienced with the weapons that they use, which is going to unlock different martial techniques as they get more and more proficient. So sometimes focusing them on just one type of weapon can be a good idea. The point being that there are a lot of ways to customize and strengthen your characters so you'll be able to take on stronger and stronger challenges. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop back into the Great Hall. You can change up your coat of arms, by the way, to whatever you want it to be, which I'm fine with what I've got over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map and see what is now available for us. Okay, we have the faction system, which is now active. Haha! So as we fight and complete missions, remember, at the end of the day, we are also mercenaries, and we can make various different factions happy with me. We've got the French, the Bretons, the English, the Navarrese, and the Castilian, all of which are going to be important patrons for me, but I imagine we can't keep all of them happy. We'll have a chance to see how all the different factions interact later on, I believe, though there is some information here that gives us an idea what kinds of units they tend to field. And that gives you a better idea how you want to equip your units. The Sack of St. Martin. Recommend level 3 companions. Okay. Maybe we wait for our main A team to get back here. Let's pass some time and get them back over here. Oh, we've got the antidote and stuff. Good. Whoop, here we go. A different type of mission just appeared. Okay, so if you don't have enough experience to take on the story missions, you can take on some individual contracts. A hard assassination mission. Eliminate a target and then get into an extraction area. Tough, doable, and the resources are very tempting, but I think I'm gonna have to just go ahead and take a risk and jump out over here into the main mission, just for the sake of this video. We'll go with this team here. We could buy some additional consumables now that we've got them unlocked, though it does cost some money and stuff, so not something you want to do lightly. As a rule, I try not to use any items unless I feel like I absolutely have to. All right, my team is out and about. We could actually send out 2 teams at a time. So if I want to start working toward this hard assassination mission, we could. I'm not going to do that this video, but, you know, just for my own time, I'm just going to go ahead and get this started. Well, never mind, I don't even have enough companions available. All right, that was a fun idea. And we arrive. I will say, by the way, I feel like the game has improved dramatically since the last demo. I mean, the game was fine, but it did feel like it was just a little bit janky. The UI wasn't as smooth as it wanted to be, but now it all runs as smooth as silk. So the devs have come a long way on that. Anyway, let's go ahead and start up the battle. Ah, now this looks familiar from the demo. I believe this is where we're about to be introduced to certain cultic forces. Looks like the English are dying here. Somebody has come by and already put them down. Voices whispering in their heads? Yep, very cultic. So if I remember correctly, we are going to get hit by several English men-at-arms here. Getting up to this crossbow can certainly be helpful. I'm going to start with that, see if we can get up here, though we will immediately get spotted by extremely grim and creepy forces. Ugh. Too culty for my tastes. He's already down, stop it! Let's go ahead and try to take out some of their ranged characters in the back, apply a bit of rooting and some bleeding. Don't go anywhere, stay right where you are. And then we'll try to burn down some of this guy's armor with a quick concussive strike, making it easier for everyone else to do their thing. Also a chance of knocking you prone may be a good idea. There we go, that makes him vulnerable. Probably unsportsmanlike to try and take him down, but we're gonna do it anyway. See if we can finish him off. Look, English knights are scary, man, even if he is prone. All right, let's see what this guy's gonna do. He's just gonna kind of just make his armor better, which is a little annoying, but okay. Ow. Yeah, they're trying to pick on this guy, this duelist, as much as they can. Not a fan of that arrangement. Let's try to burn down at least one of them. Much easier to deal with one target instead of 2. And then I'm gonna take my Crusader and go to a defender fighting style, so there's a chance we taunt this guy and he leaves my duelist alone. Oh, but I accidentally hit my own guy with my greatsword. Whoops, close quarters combat, sorry. Well, I'm gonna have to try to raise my defenses. If I try to run away, I'm probably gonna get smacked. Might dodge it, probably won't though. Maybe we need to just sit tight and hope we don't take too much damage. Good, he's going for my Crusader. Okay, spread the damage around. Use the big crossbow one more time on the knight. Boom, ignore that armor. And we got a crit on this warrior. Oh, that makes my life so much easier. Thank you. Try not to do a big swing attack this time. There we go. He's out. Another big swing, and that finishes off at least this initial set of enemies. Now we know that they're gonna be set up over here at the church. So this is the next place we need to go. But this is a good chance to kind of take a quick respite and make sure we use some items or some abilities to heal our folks back up. Like a healing flask. Everyone likes getting splashed by green goop. So if I recall correctly, we can cross this threshold, and this is going to spawn some enemies. It'll give me some idea what's about to happen. Yep, here we go. All right, big, scary Black Knight figure. I think all we have to do is kill the zealot. Everyone else is technically not required, and then we would win. So I want him to come closer to me, and then I want to dogpile the crud out of him. I am going to toss a bit of alchemical pitch over here. Hopefully these guys run through it. They may not, but if they do, I could use a fire flask to set this on fire later. Okay, as far forward as I can be. Let's see what these guys end up doing. They're buffing the zealots. Of course they are. That is the smart thing to do, isn't it? Let's just go ahead and stab these guys since they got really close to me. Would have loved some more crits, but we took one of them down. And then, honestly, I don't think there's anything else to do except just sort of sit here and see what they do. The answer is they're going to run around the pitch. Okay. Oh, and he's actually going to attack me here. Ow! Ow! Well, we better get over here and protect this guy, huh? Let's try to burn down his armor a little bit if possible. That does help a tiny bit. And then really, the only thing that matters is just taking this guy down. It'd be easier if I didn't have to worry about these guys too, but he has so much health. I don't know how much it's gonna be worth it. Well, I need to get a better vantage point, so we're gonna step out into the open with this guy. There's too many targets for them to be hitting right now. I just need to do as much damage as I can as fast as I can. That's the most important thing. Even got a crit off there. Excellent. And now my character's resilient, but I don't want to move or we'll take a huge hit.
Yes.
All right, tell you what, let's run forward here, swap back over to a defender stance, use verdict so we don't swing and hit my own people. You dodged. Of course you did. I can't do this without hitting my own guys. All right, I don't think Overwatch is going to do any good. He's not going to run, so we're just going to get into a defensive stance and hopefully he targets someone else. Now, these guys actually can attack twice. Most early game enemies can only hit once, which gives you a pretty distinct advantage. Does not appear that that's the case this time, though. These guys are fighting on my level. So let's try to hit this guy as aggressively as we can. Hopefully we can knock him prone. That would be convenient. He is prone. Good. Then I'm going to have to take the risk and move this guy out of position. He's going to get hit. But at least now my Crusader can take some proper swings. Slash! And I don't think it really matters anymore because we should be able to just stab this guy in the head with an arrow. Yay! We win the sack of Saint Martin! And once again, my characters gain a lot of experience. Now, it's supposed to be pretty tough, right? A lot of level 2 characters shouldn't have been able to beat that so aggressively, but they did pretty well for themselves. They've deserved a good break, and a lot of time in the healer's tent. Lots of rewards to enjoy from that one, and we've defeated a mysterious fighter, but found no sign of Nicholas Flamel. That's actually part of the story of this game. And this would lead us to another mission here for Black Monday, which would actually get me some Master Craftsman points, which would be quite nice to upgrade some of my facilities at the castle, but that's not important right now. Looks like some more missions are coming available from the various different factions. Yeah, we could complete these, get these rewards, make certain factions like me, but presumably make a few other people pretty angry too. Maybe it would be worth upgrading our forge up to level 2. We'll go ahead and do that now. That unlocks the refined weapons. Let's unlock better bows. Sure, we know we need those. Can't afford crossbows and stuff, though. We have to go hunting. And of course, let's make sure we also get some extra powers for my characters. Honestly, I think this game has come along pretty nicely from the demo. We got a really good taste of what it had to offer back then, but now, I don't know, from playing this, it feels very smooth, it feels very responsive, very intuitive, the graphics are solid, the gameplay is good. If you're looking for a medieval tactical game, which admittedly is not very common, but if you're looking for something like that, I think this is going to scratch that itch in a really good way, and again, the character progression is similar to other games I've played in the past, so I actually think that's a very strong point of this game. This is the sort of thing I could find myself getting a lot of time into, and I'm very curious what the story is going to be, because you all know, I got a thing for the cultists. I'm curious what their angle is and how they compete with mine. Anyway, that's all the time that I've got for today, but a very big thank you to all of you for watching this video. I hope you found this informative and helpful in some way, and again, a thank you to Nakin for sponsoring today's video. Of course, you guys can find out more about Crown Wars in the description down below. If you just click on that link, it'll show you the store page. Otherwise, I'd ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.